Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 12th, presented by Mercury. We're going to spend some time today with Josh Herron talking about Logan Martin and Lay Lake. We're going to connect with Tom Ott for Lake Guntersville, and then I'll talk about the Coosa River Team Trail at Neely Henry and kind of what to expect there and at Weiss Lake. Don't forget to keep rooting for our folks here at the Bassmaster Classic. I'm down here in Fort Worth. Root for Scott Canterbury and Matt Herron as they're our local pro staff guys fishing down here at the Bassmaster Classic. But if you're going to spend some time on the water, here's what to expect on your body of water. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 12th, presented by Mercury. Hey, we've got a special edition from the Bassmaster Classic here today, but as always, what really matters is what's going on our home lakes. So we're going to check in with Josh Herron right there at Reaction Innovations. Josh, tell us what's going on down there at Logan Martin and Lay Lake these days.
Well, we got down to normal water levels, and I'm pretty sure yesterday took care of that problem. So go ahead, get ready. It's going to be ripping again. So we're going to continue the unreliable Alabama fishing report for the entire year, apparently, and probably fall the flash monsoon. But no, it's getting better, man. It's not great by any means, but it's getting better. It's getting more stable. How about that?
Yeah, it seems like lately the weatherman's the only one that's going to be able to say their 50-50 works best for him, but this fishing report's going to change from day to day.
Dude, I want the weatherman's job and get paid every day for being wrong. But no, I mean, dude, we're finally starting to catch that mayfly hatch. It was trying to come a couple weeks ago. It got cold for some weird reason. But now we're kind of back on to the it's so humid you can eat it part. So expect for the mayfly hatch to really fire in the next couple days, probably into the week. But that's probably going to be your main gig right now. You're going to have the bluegill pretty much done. And then they're really going to start keying on these mayfly hatches, and largemouth and spots should follow suit pretty quickly.
Yeah, it seems like that's the time of the year that you want to have a topwater ready all year, because if you do run into something like that, you can really make hay real quick is to have a topwater bait on there.
Absolutely, man. Walking baits are great, but this is the time of year really old school baits shine up, P70s. Stuff Grandpa used to take you to do. This is the time of year where you can bring back some really old memories in a really fun way.
I know it's also the time to start looking offshore a little bit after that bite kind of slows down. But shaky heads, flirt worms, those kinds of things can make damage, along with a swim bait out there too.
Absolutely, man. Brush is going to start being king again. More and more of it's getting put in the Coosa every single week. But you got about a week and a half to 2 week window where the mayfly hatch is going to be done, and then it's going to go straight primarily to an offshore deal.
Well, Josh, as always, man, we appreciate it. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thanks, man.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 12th, presented by Mercury. Hey, we're going to head on up to the Big Lake with our good friend Tom Ott. Tom, I know you've been up there on Guntersville, spent a little bit of time out there on them ledges. I know that the bite hasn't stabilized yet, but if anybody can put some fish in the boat, it's you and St. Jennifer. So tell us what's going on up there on the Big Lake.
Man, I'm telling you, Dano, it's been this year so far has just been up and down. I've never seen such inconsistency out of, Mother Nature, I guess, is who I'm going to blame anyway. It's certainly not my fault, but, those fish are dead. They're moving out there. They're coming up here. We're going on a whole lot of history. We're talking about the brim bite or the brim beds, all of that kind of stuff, and so many, if you're a fisherman, you're going to keep those logs and you're going to look back and you're going to say, okay, well, this was the temperature. This was the time of the year that I was there. This is what was happening. And this year, that's just been blown completely out of the water. I mean, everything seems to be really far behind, with the exception of the grass production. I mean, that is just I actually read something earlier that said if we didn't have eelgrass, we probably wouldn't have a bass population on Guntersville, just because of the pressure right now and the fact that you can't fish the things you want to fish because of too much grass. There's just a lot of floating grass out there, so it makes it a little frustrating. but it also makes it real rewarding when you figure it out. And like I said, those fish are moving out. I'm not afraid to look anywhere between the 12 to 30 foot range right now. Seeing fish all up and down the ledges. Obviously, when I say up and down the ledges, I don't mean all the way down. There's some specific areas that are definitely more productive than others, but I mean, that goes without saying on any reservoir. So, but I'm telling you, it seems like they're really starting to move out heavy now. The last few weeks, we've seen spatterings of them. We've seen some here, some there, and you're able to catch some, but just not the big, huge schools that we're used to seeing on those ledges. So, I don't know if that's going to happen given the pressure. But I think that's the best place to start right now is to get out there, fish deep, turn your graphs on, keep your eyes ahead, of course, but, turn those graphs on, look for those fish, and then do something just a little bit different to get those fish to fire off. Big thing now is breaking up schools. You got so many boats idling them. It's really, really difficult to just sit on top of a bunch and make them all eat. But, that's I know that doesn't help a lot of folks, but it's what we got going on right now on the lake for sure.
Tom, as always, time for a big worm, a big jig, and maybe even a flutter spoon. Thanks for spending some time with us. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 12th, presented by Mercury. Let's talk a little bit about Neely Henry because I've spent some time on there recently. We had the Coosa River Team Trail last Saturday. It took over 17 pounds to win. It seems like a lot of the fish that were taken that won the tournament, and Lynn Johnson had the big fish of the tournament, won for over 7 pounds, and a lot of those fish were taken kind of downtown Gadsden within a couple miles of the city ramp there at Coosa Landing. But 90 boats, a lot of limits weighed in, a few bags that weren't quite up to par like my own, but I got to spend a lot of time with my wife, Christina, fishing on the water. That was a lot of fun. Caught a lot of fish, shaky heads, Ned rigs, caught some swim jig fish in the grass, but it seems like right about now the fish are starting to move into their summertime grass patterns with the current, a little bit of green pumpkin swim jigs, maybe even flip some of the outside edges of the grass to be able to produce a few fish. Also on those steeper bluffs, you can catch a few fish throwing, like I said, the shaky head with 6-inch worms, fat baby finesse worms, those kinds of deals produce some spotted bass for us in practice with my father-in-law, and we're able to put some nice fish, including some 3+ spotted bass in the boat on those steep walls. But Saturday's always different, and you know how that goes during tournament days when you got a lot of boats on the water and then all the pleasure boats. But you can catch fish on shaky heads. You can catch them on top water a little bit here and there. There's a frog bite to be had in the grass in both lakes. Look for current that flows next to that grass. Some current breaks. When you have the current flowing, that's where to fish the shaky heads, maybe even a football jig, finesse jig, some of those kinds of deals. And then if you need to go to a stick bait like an ocho or something like that around some of the docks, you also could skip a few jigs around the docks too, or, soft plastic bait skipped around docks. Senko and an ocho makes a really good wacky rig skip bait on a spinning rod. That way you can present to fish that are hiding from that current. They're going to use that current to dart out. But watching out for boat traffic is going to be a big deal because it's going to be a main lake deal here pretty soon. Fish can be taken all over the lake, but find strategic areas that the current is there, it's swirling, and you got to fish the lee spots, and you will be able to produce a few fish for yourself and have a good time. Again, the Coosa River Team Trail was one with over 17 pounds, very impressive. Of course, a big fish from Lynn Johnson of 7 pounds is a big deal too. So stay safe out there on the water on both lakes, and we will talk to you again soon. Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 12th, presented by Mercury. Thanks to the guys for everything they got to say, and don't forget to root for our local pros and friends at the Bassmaster Classic this week. Tomorrow's a big day. They're going to crown a champion, $300,000. So pay attention to that. And if you got to look for anything that they're fishing in the loft, you can come by and see us at the shop. But again, log in, subscribe to our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And thanks for spending some time with us today. And we will talk to you again soon.